good evening. My name is Shino. I'm the president of the Community Education Council District 2. I will be submitting our resolution number 58, calling for a moratorium on charter applications in District 2, which was passed back in March 28, 2012. And that's our CECD2's official testimony for tonight. But I will be speaking to the parents who are at Success Academies now. This is not about you and your kids. It's not about taking your education away from you. And I don't want you to think that we're fighting you. What we're fighting is your administrator, your charter operator, because we don't get information from her, we don't get data from her, and the data we do call through the state website and DOE website tell us that there is something not quite right going on at your schools. Namely, your schools do not seem to be enrolling the equal number of students with disabilities as they should be according to the district level statistics. Your schools are not enrolling the equal numbers of English language learners. Your numbers are lower. I would like you really to look into this as parents who are on the inside, because in the end, we are here to provide a high-quality education for all of our children. Not just yours, not just mine. I'm here dedicating my time on evenings and weekends because I want to do what I can to make education better for everybody.
Thank you.
And unfortunately, Eva is not helping us do our work. Eva is dividing us. Eva is segregating our schools. Eva is not accountable to anything. Eva is not transparent. I would urge you to look critically at your schools and see what you can do so that we can move together to create a better public education system. Thank you very much.
Hi, I'm Tricia Joyce, the chair of the Youth and Education Committee of Community Board 1. I wanted to come up today and thank you, Shino. I'm going to echo some of her points in terms of how we feel about charter schools and Community Board 1, which is part of District 2. Right now, what we have in terms of charter schools are two classes of service. And I think if you're going to talk about public schools, you can't have that be in the same sentence. I think all of us as parents want choices for our children. And if you don't like your zone school and don't want to go there, we should all have the choice of somewhere else to educate our children. So I want to echo that I don't want to feel as though we're at each other's necks as parents. We're all here to achieve the same thing for our children. The problem in our community district is that we are so desperately overcrowded by the poor planning methods that this city has used to plan public school seats. That what we're doing is we're starving one group from resources and giving them to another. And I think intrinsically that starts everybody off as on the wrong foot. And I think for us, they continue to ask us at the DOE, what do we want for our children in District 2? And I have resolutions from 2011, 2012, 2014. We want more schools to be built, more public city schools. We want smaller class sizes. We want to change the way we fund our public schools so teachers aren't using closets and being led to believe that that's adequate space. Clearly, you're going to see the problem when you go to co-locate. If the Department of Education is planning school seats and classrooms using algorithms that have nothing to do with how many children can actually learn in one space. And so what ends up happening, if you have one kind of school being funded to co-locate another school, and you're abiding by a different set of space principles than the other half, you can see that you're not going to be starting off on the right foot. So I just want to say from our community district, we really hope that the city listens this time. We've been in this position so many times, and I would really like to have impact this time and to have a response we can all live with. Thank you.
Keenberger. I have 4 children who graduated from PS3, and they're great, and PS3 is great. But I'm speaking here as the head of the Morton Street Task Force. There was a great idea that parents got 7 years ago that we need a middle school in District 2. And we had lobbies, and we had rallies, and we had emails, et cetera, and finally, Morton Street Task Force 3 years ago with CEC and CB2. And from that experience, out of the morass of no middle schools in District 2, a star appeared. 75 Morton Street. It is on its way as a great middle school. And we have this horrible thought that maybe Success Academy is going to take this thing. We have grown for 7 years. Maybe somebody has eyes on that school and is going to crash it to the ground? No. Because no new school should ever begin unless it has 7 years of parent continual design and stuff. We collaborate with the Board of Education, we collaborate with everybody, and there are 1,000 parents and 1,000 community leaders who love this vision of a great school in District 2, and who will continually fight tooth and nail if any Success Academy comes anywhere near our precious, wonderful schools.
Hi, good evening. My name is Janine Kiley. I am the co-chair of Community Board 2's new Schools and Education Committee. And I just want to state the obvious, but under New York's education law, SUNY approves charter applications, but New York City must fund this space, either co-locations or pay for space in other public or private facilities. This makes absolutely no budgetary sense. As an alternative, SUNY should fund the space. What about co-locating charters in New York SUNY facilities? There's the FIT across the street, that's in District 2.
Yes.
42nd Street, there's the College of Optometry. And I know we're only talking District 2 and 3 here, but there's also in Brooklyn, SUNY Downstate Medical Center. 3 opportunities for co-location. Finally, as co-chair of Community Board 2 Schools and Education Committee, we have, in addition to 75 Morton Shining Star, which we hope will not fall from the sky, there are 2 other schools that we have long fought for to be built. A new elementary school in Hudson Square that was through a long part of a rezoning, and Bleecker Street. Only one of those 2 schools is funded. We are still fighting for the Bleecker Street school. And I wish schools didn't take 7 years to fund. I wish we just submitted an application to SUNY and got a building, but that's not the case. So I just want to reiterate that any attempt to cite a charter school at these additional neighborhood schools will be resisted and rejected by our community.
Yes.
Hi, my name is Susan Crosent, and I'm a District 2 parent, and now sort of a District 3 parent, I guess, because my kid's in high school. One of my kids is in high school. I've spent 2 years being president of a District 2 K-8 school, as secretary of President's Council. I've sat on the Chancellor's Parent Advisory Council. And more importantly, I'm the mom of 2 high schoolers, one with an IEP and enjoying the fruits of a public high school, Frank McCourt, in its 5th year. My other son has been the victim of special education reform and is currently in a school in Massachusetts. Not only does my child need to go to school away from his family and friends, but we've spent our life savings to find him that classroom setting. That whole process is for another day. However, that process would need to be necessary if the Department of Education provided seats to children with learning disabilities, kids that are simply challenged by the fact that they can't learn in a class of 32 children. When they shut down the 12-to-1 classroom due to special ed reform, we looked for an appropriate setting. My son asked me, how about a charter school? I laughed. And I explained to him that they did things differently and they didn't take kids with IEPs or with learning issues. He asked me why not. I told him I didn't know. They take space from our schools and from our children. And there aren't any supports. I saw this firsthand sitting at CSE for 2 hours waiting for an envelope. And a mom of a kindergartner got her child into a charter school, and her child needed speech, and he got pushed out of the school.
Yeah.
And they tried to change his IEP saying he needed an ICT class. So there she was, week and a half into school, the kid hadn't been to school, had no idea where to put the child. She spent all this money on uniforms. I was devastated. And I just told her, I've been fighting this battle for 10 years with my kid. And she just has to keep fighting. You know, if we took care of the schools that we had, like Shino said,
That's right.
make it right for everybody.
Everybody.
It's-
Everybody.